Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today, we are taking a close look at one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary piece of change. After all, millions of these coins were minted. But collectors have long been intrigued by the rare errors and unusual variations that make certain examples incredibly valuable. Some reports have even suggested that a single 1965 Washington quarter could be worth as much as $1.9 million. That is more than the price of a luxury car, a small house, or a lifetime of savings. In this video, we are going to explore the history of the 1965 quarter, its value, the rare errors that can make it a treasure, and the truth behind this staggering $1.9 million claim. History of the 1965 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor George Washington on the 200th anniversary of his birth. It quickly became one of the most recognized coins in the United States. By 1965, the country was experiencing major changes in coinage. The most significant change in 1965 was the removal of silver from quarters. Rising silver prices and widespread hoarding had created a coin shortage across the nation. In response, the U.S. Mint replaced the 90% silver quarters with copper-nickel-clad coins. This made the 1965 quarter the first non-silver Washington quarter in more than 3 decades. Another important change was the removal of mint marks. From 1965 through 1967, quarters produced in Philadelphia and Denver had no mint mark to discourage hoarding. That means all 1965 quarters, regardless of where they were made, look nearly identical. Despite being a common coin in circulation, the 1965 quarter remains historically significant as the first year of the clad composition, marking a major shift in U.S. coinage. Why most 1965 quarters are worth only face value to the enormous mintage and the removal of silver. Most 1965 Washington quarters are only worth 25 cents. Even uncirculated coins are often valued at just a few dollars unless they are in perfect condition or have a rare error. The coin's copper-nickel composition means that melt value is not a factor. Instead, collectors focus on condition, grading, and unusual minting errors to determine value. Rare 1965 quarter errors that are although most 1965 quarters are common, several rare mint errors have made certain examples highly collectible. These are the ones that can attract serious money, double die errors. Sometimes, the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, causing doubling on the lettering or date. Strong doubling can make a coin highly desirable. Off-center strikes. If the coin blank was not positioned correctly during striking, part of the design may appear shifted or missing. Dramatic off-center strikes are sought after by collectors. Clipped planchets. A clipped planchet occurs when the metal blank is improperly cut, leaving curved or straight missing sections along the edge. Larger clips increase the coin's value. Wrong planchet strikes. Extremely rare, but occasionally a 1965 quarter may have been struck on the wrong size planchet, such as a dime or nickel blank. These anomalies are highly prized by collectors. Double strikes and multi-strikes. Coins struck more than once create unusual overlapping images. These errors can sell for hundreds or thousands, depending on the severity. Struck through errors. Foreign material trapped between the die and planchet can leave unusual impressions, making the coin unique. Even though these errors are rare, they are the reason why collectors sometimes assign extraordinary value to certain 1965 quarters. The truth behind the $1.9 million thing. Now, let's address the most sensational part. Could a 1965 Washington quarter really be worth $1.9 million? The truth is that no verified sale of a 1965 quarter has ever reached $1.9 million. Auction records and grading services have not documented such a sale. The number originates from speculation about hypothetical coins with one-of-a-kind errors. Some online content creators have imagined what might happen if a previously unknown error coin were discovered and sold to a wealthy collector. While it is theoretically possible that a unique 1965 quarter could command an extraordinary price, the $1.9 million figure is not based on documented sales. It is purely hypothetical. Realistic values for 1965 Washington quarters. Here is what collectors actually pay for 1965 quarters today. Circulated coins are worth 25 cents. Uncirculated examples may sell for $1 to $3. High-grade mint state coins, MS65 or higher, can bring $10 to $25 depending on condition and demand. Off-center strikes may sell for $50 to several $100 depending on severity. Clip planchets range from $20 to over $100. Wrong planchet errors or dramatic double strikes can bring hundreds to thousands of dollars. But these coins are extremely rare. These are realistic values based on verified sales and collector interest. How to check if your 1965 quarter is. If you have a 1965 quarter, here's how to see if it might be valuable. Examine the lettering closely for any signs of doubling, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. Look at the rim for any unusual gaps, clips, or stretching. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Any significant deviation could indicate a wrong planchet error. Inspect both sides for unusual impressions, dents, or marks that are part of the minting process rather than circulation damage. If you find something unusual, consider having the coin graded and authenticated by a professional service. So can a 1965 Washington quarter really be worth $1.9 million? Not according to any verified sale. The average coin is worth face value, and even uncirculated examples rarely exceed a few dollars. However, rare mint errors such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, or wrong planchet coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands. While the $1.9 million claim is purely hypothetical, the excitement of discovering a rare 1965 quarter keeps collectors searching through drawers, piggy banks, and old coin collections. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the 1965 Washington quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more coin content, and comment below with which coin you want us to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also create a cinematic 12-minute monetized version with hooks, suspense, and countdown moments to keep viewers engaged for the full watch time. Oh, you want me to do that? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about modern quarters in recent years, the 1994 Washington quarter. Millions of these coins were made, and most of them are still out there in everyday circulation. You may have one in your pocket right now, but you may have also heard rumors, videos, and posts claiming that a rare 1994 quarter could be worth as much as $1.5 million. Is that true? Could a simple 1994 quarter really be worth more than a luxury home, a sports car collection, or even a lifetime of savings? Today, we're going to uncover the full story behind this coin. Its history, the actual values collectors pay, the rare errors that make some examples valuable, and the real explanation behind the enormous $1.5 million claim. Get comfortable. This is a deep dive into one of the most surprising coins from the 1990s. History of the 1994 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been an American classic since 1932, created to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. John Flanagan design became a staple of U.S. coinage, appearing in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars for decades. By 1994, the design was nearing the end of its long run. Just 5 years later, in 1999, the state quarters program would replace the familiar eagle reverse with 50 new state designs. This makes the 1994 Washington quarter part of the final chapter of the original Eagleback series. The D Mint mark tells you it was struck at the Denver Mint, and Denver struck a huge number of them. That means most 1994 quarters are extremely common. Like most modern quarters, the 1994 is made of a copper core with a nickel outer layer. There is no silver in it. That means its value depends entirely on condition and rarity, especially mint errors. Why most 1994 quarters are only worth face? Because the Denver Mint produced so many of these coins. The average 1994 quarter is worth only 25 cents. Even a clean, uncirculated example might only bring $1 or $2 unless it has something special about it. High-grade coins certified by major grading companies can bring more, but not thousands unless an error is involved. This brings us to the part that gets collectors excited. The rare mistakes that slipped through the mint. Rare errors that make the 1994 quarter vain. Even though most 1994 quarters are common, certain rare mint errors make some of them worth far more than face value. Here are the major types collectors seek. Double die errors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin shows doubling. Areas like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date are the most important places to check. Strong doubling can bring impressive prices. Off-center strikes. If the coin wasn't correctly centered in the press, part of the design may be missing. A slight shift might bring modest value, but a dramatic off-center strike can sell for hundreds of dollars. Broad strike errors. This happens when the coin is struck without the collar that normally forms the rim. These coins look stretched or wider than normal and can sell for solid premiums. Missing clad layer errors. Because the quarter is made of layers, a missing nickel layer can expose the copper core, giving the coin a unique reddish appearance. These errors can bring hundreds of dollars depending on condition. Wrong planchet strikes. One of the most valuable error types. If a quarter design was struck on a dime blank, a foreign coin blank, or another incorrect planchet, the coin becomes extremely desirable to collectors. These errors often sell for hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dollars. Multi-strike or double strike errors. If the coin was struck more than once by the minting press, especially at different positions, the resulting error can be visually stunning and highly valuable. These are the types of errors that give the 1994 D quarter its collectible power. Where the $1.5 million claim comes from here is the big question. Why do some people claim that a 1994 D Washington quarter could be worth $1.5 million? The truth is simple. There has never been a documented sale of a 1994 D quarter for anything close to $1.5 million. No auction house, no grading service, and no private collector has recorded such a sale. So where did the number come from? It comes from speculation and viral hype. Some coin-related articles and videos estimate what an extraordinary, one-of-a-kind mint error could sell for if it were ever discovered. These estimates are based on extreme cases from other coins in history, like unique wrong planchet errors or dramatic double strikes that sold for enormous amounts. In theory, if a never-before-seen, completely unique mint error on a 1994 D quarter were found, collectors with deep pockets might bid very high. Is a $1.5 million sale impossible? No. Anything is possible in the world of unique mint errors. Has such a coin ever been found? No. The number is hypothetical, not historical. Realistic values of the 1994 D Washington quarter here is what 1994 D quarters actually sell for. A typical circulated 1994 D quarter is worth 25 cents. A clean uncirculated coin can sell for $1 to $3. An extremely high-grade mint state coin, like MS-67 or higher, can sell for $20 to $100 depending on quality. A missing clad layer error can bring $50 to $200. A strong off-center strike may sell for $50 to $500. A wrong planchet strike can easily sell for several hundred to over $1,000. Depending on the planchet type, an extreme multi-strike or highly unusual error could bring thousands of dollars. These are real values based on actual sales and collectors' demand. How to check if your 1994 D quarter is finally. Here's how to examine your coin for potential rarity. Look closely at the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust for signs of doubling. Check if the design is perfectly centered. Any shift may indicate an off-center strike. Inspect the rim to see if it looks stretched or missing, which may mean a broad strike. Examine the color. If one side is copper-colored, you may have a missing clad layer error. Weigh the coin. The standard weight is 5.67 grams. A noticeably different weight could indicate a wrong planchet strike. Look for extra lumps of metal, cracks, or unusual raised areas. These can be die cracks or cuds that add value. If the coin looks unusual or suspiciously different, it may be worth grading to confirm authenticity. So, can the 1994 D Washington quarter really be worth $1.5 million? Not in any real recorded sale. The typical 1994 D quarter is worth face value. But certain rare mint errors absolutely can bring strong prices, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands, and in extremely rare cases potentially even more. That's what keeps collectors searching. Every everyday coin has a story, and sometimes that story turns into a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1994 D Washington quarter, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and tell me in the comments which coin you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also create a dramatic documentary-style version, a shorter TikTok-style version, or a monetized 10-minute script format. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising and highly searched coins from the late 90s, the 1997 P. Washington Quarter. This coin is everywhere. You've probably handled dozens of them, maybe without even noticing. But now, videos and social media posts are claiming that the 1997 P quarter could be worth as much as $1.2 million. Yes, a single quarter supposedly worth a fortune far beyond what most people expect. But where does that number come from? Why this coin? And could a common-looking 1997 P quarter in your change actually turn out to be worth life-changing money? Today, we're going to uncover the real story, the history, the known rare errors, the realistic market values, and the truth behind the million-dollar rumors. Let's get into it. History of the 1997 the Washington Quarter has a long legacy. Originally introduced in 1932 for the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, John Flanagan design became a staple of American pocket change. By 1997, the coin's classic design was still in use, just 2 years before the launch of the state quarters program that would replace it. The 1997 P. Washington Quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The P Mint mark sits on the right side, next to Washington's ponytail. Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of these coins in 1997, making it a very common circulation year. Like the other quarters of its era, the 1997 P is made of copper and nickel, not silver. So, the value of an ordinary example is based entirely on condition, rarity, and potential minting errors. Why the 1997 P quarter is usually very thin? Because the Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous number of these coins. The overwhelming majority of 1997 P quarters have no special value. A circulated example usually remains worth only 25 cents. Even nicer uncirculated coins may bring only a couple of dollars unless they are graded extremely high. Most 1997 P quarters lived normal lives, going through cash registers, vending machines, pockets, purses, and coin jars. But hidden in this sea of normal coins are a handful of rare mint errors that collectors actively search for. And those rare pieces are what spark the huge price speculation. The rare errors that give the 1997 P quarter collectible value are the types of mint errors from 1997 that can dramatically increase a quarter's worth. Double die errors, especially those affecting liberty, the date, or in God we trust. These can range in value from modest premiums to impressive amounts depending on how visible the doubling is. Off-center strikes where the design is noticeably shifted. A small off-center strike might be worth $50, while a major one with part of the design missing can be worth hundreds. Broad strikes, where the coin lacks its normal rim and appears stretched or enlarged. These are popular with error collectors. Wrong planchet errors, where the quarter design was struck on a metal blank for a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. These errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on rarity and condition. Missing clad layer errors, where the outer nickel surface is partially gone, exposing the copper core. These have an instantly recognizable look and can command significant value. Multiple strike errors, where a coin was stamped more than once. These errors can be visually dramatic and highly sought after. These errors are the real reasons that some 1997 P quarters sell for serious money. Where the $1.2 million claim comes from, let's talk about the big number everyone mentions. The $1.2 million 1997 P quarter. The truth is this. There has never been a confirmed sale of a 1997 P Washington quarter for $1.2 million. No auction house, no private collector, no certified grading service has documented such a sale. Why does this number exist? Because it is based on speculation. Online articles and viral videos often exaggerate values by estimating what a unique, ultra-extreme mint error might bring if it ever appeared. And in the rare world of numismatics, one-of-a-kind errors have reached shocking amounts on other coins. That leads some people to imagine a scenario where a never-before-seen 1997 P error could fetch 7 figures. It is not completely impossible, but such a coin has never been discovered. The $1.2 million figure is hypothetical, based on a perfect storm of rarity, uniqueness, historical interest, and competitive bidding. Realistic values of the 1997 P quarter. Here's what most 1997 P quarters actually sell for today. A normal circulated example is worth 25 cents. A brilliant uncirculated example may bring $1 to $5. A high-grade certified mint state coin, especially MS-67 or higher, can sell for $20 to $100 depending on market demand. A strong off-center strike can bring $25 to $200. A missing clad layer may sell from $50 to $200. A wrong planchet strike can easily reach several hundred, and in rare cases, over $1,000. A dramatic multi-strike error can bring impressive amounts depending on how extreme it is. These are the real, proven values from the collecting world. How to know if your 1997 P quarter is in the LE. Here's what to look for if you want to check your coin for potential rarity and value. Look closely at the lettering for signs of doubling. Pay attention to Liberty, the date, and In God We Trust. Inspect the rim. If the rim is missing or the coin looks stretched, you might have a broad strike. Check whether the design is centered. A shifted design may indicate an off-center strike. Examine the color. An unusual copper appearance may reveal a missing clad layer. Weigh the coin. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A different weight could mean a wrong planchet. Check for unusual raised metal, cracks, or odd shapes in the design, signs of die breaks or cuds. If something looks strange or out of place, it may be worth submitting the coin to a professional grading company to confirm its authenticity and value. So, is the 1997 P Washington quarter worth $1.2 million? In almost every case, no. Most of these coins are worth face value. But certain rare mint errors can make these coins surprisingly valuable, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And while the million-dollar number is based on speculation rather than real sales, the idea keeps collectors searching because every great discovery starts with curiosity. That's the magic of coin collecting. Any quarter in your pocket could be just another coin, or it could be something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, and tell me in the comments which coin you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also write a more dramatic movie-style version, a shorter punchy version, or a script tailored to a 10-minute monetized YouTube format. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising and talked about modern coins, the 1998 P Washington quarter. It's a coin millions of people have held without even thinking about it. Yet online you may have seen claims that this simple 1998 P quarter could be worth as much as $1.3 million. Yes, $1.3 million for a single quarter from the late 90s. But is that true? Where did that number come from? Why this coin? And is it possible that a 1998 P quarter sitting in your change, your car cup holder, or your old drawer could actually be worth enough money to completely change your life? Today we're going to explore the full story behind this coin. The history, the minting process, the rare errors, the real market values, and the truth behind the massive $1.3 million claim. If you want to know whether your 1998 P quarter could be special, this is the video for you. Let's begin. History of the 1998 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has a long and iconic history. First minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the design became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. For decades, John Flanagan's portrait of Washington and his classic eagle reverse remained unchanged. By 1998, the United States Mint was producing enormous quantities of quarters as the nation approached the launch of the state quarters program, which would begin in 1999 and change the design forever. Because of that upcoming transition, 1998 became the final year of the classic eagle-on-back Washington quarter. The 1998 P quarter was minted in Philadelphia. The P mint mark sits next to Washington's ponytail, indicating its origin. Like all modern quarters of the era, it is made of copper and nickel, not silver. Hundreds of millions of these coins were produced, making the standard 1998 P very common. But as with every mass production year, mistakes happen. And those mistakes are the reason people search this coin so eagerly today. Why most 1998 P quarters are only worth 25 cents? Because the Philadelphia Mint created so many of these coins. Most examples have no extra value. A typical circulated 1998 P quarter is worth its face value. Even a clean uncirculated one may only be worth $1 or $2 unless it carries a rare error or an exceptionally high grade from a professional grading service. However, within the millions of standard coins, there are rare mint errors that can raise the price dramatically. Some errors bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And it is these rare cases that keep the excitement alive. Rare errors that make the 1998 P quarter value are the major mint errors that can make the 1998 P Washington quarter worth real money. Double die errors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin shows doubling in the lettering or numbers, especially in the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date. These errors vary in value depending on how strong and visible the doubling is. Off-center strikes. If the blank coin was not perfectly aligned in the striking chamber, the design may appear shifted to one side. A slight off-center strike may bring modest value, but dramatic shifts can be worth hundreds of dollars or more. Broad strike errors. These happen when a coin is struck without the collar that shapes its rim, causing the coin to appear wider or flatter than normal. Missing clad layer errors. The quarter is made of copper in the center and nickel on the outside. If one of those layers is missing, the coin may appear copper-colored on one or both sides. These errors attract collectors. Wrong planchet strikes. This is one of the most valuable types of errors. If a quarter was struck on the wrong metal blank, such as a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank, the mistake can be extremely rare and highly valuable. Multi-strike errors. If a coin is struck more than once, especially in different orientations, the result can be dramatic and valuable. These error coins are what collectors chase, and they are the foundation of high-value sales for the 1998 P quarter. Where the $1.3 million claim comes from, this is the part most viewers want to know. Why do people say the 1998 P quarter is worth $1.3 million? The real answer is this. There has never been a documented sale of a 1998 P quarter for $1.3 million. No auction house, no major grading company, and no official record confirms such a sale. Why the extreme number? It comes from speculation, exaggeration, and the idea that if a once-in-a-lifetime, impossible-to-duplicate mint error were discovered on a 1998 P quarter, collectors might bid extremely high for it. There have been coins from other years with unique mint errors that have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions. This leads some people to imagine a theoretical scenario where the perfect error on a 1998 P quarter could reach $1.3 million at auction. Is it impossible? Not at all. Is it likely? No. Such a coin has never been found. But the possibility keeps collectors searching. Realistic values of the 1998 P quarter here are the actual values for real examples of the 1998 P Washington quarter. A normal circulated coin is worth 25 cents. A brilliant uncirculated example may sell for $1 to $3. A high-grade certified coin, especially MS67 or higher, can sell for $25 to $100 depending on the market. A missing clad layer error can range from $50 to $200. A strong off-center strike can bring anywhere from $30 to $300. A wrong planchet strike can sell for several hundred, and in extremely rare cases, over $1,000. A multi-strike or extreme mint error may fetch thousands if authenticated and visually dramatic. These are real-world figures confirmed by collectors and auctions. How to identify a valuable 1998 P quarter. To check if your 1998 P quarter is special, start with these steps. Examine the date and lettering for doubling. Any doubling on the year or main inscriptions could indicate a double die error. Inspect the rim. A stretched or missing rim could mean a broad strike. Check how centered the design is. An off-center strike is instantly noticeable. Look at the color of the coin. If it has a strong copper appearance, you may have a missing clad layer error. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A different weight means you could have a wrong planchet strike. Inspect for cracks, raised areas, or broken designs. These may be die breaks or cuds that if anything looks unusual, you may have a rare error. Getting it authenticated by a professional grading service is the best way to know its true value. And so, is the 1998 P Washington quarter worth $1.3 million? For almost everyone, no. The typical 1998 P quarter is worth exactly 25 cents. But hidden among the millions of standard examples are rare mint errors that can bring impressive prices, from hundreds to even thousands of dollars. And while the $1.3 million claim has never been confirmed, the possibility of discovering a once-in-history mint error keeps collectors searching and dreaming. That's the excitement of coin collecting. Any everyday coin could become the treasure of a lifetime. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which rare coin you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also write a more dramatic storytelling version, a shorter script, or a version optimized for a 10-minute monetized YouTube format. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring one of the most misunderstood and talked about modern coins in American pocket change, the 1996 P. Washington quarter. This is a coin nearly every American has held at some point. It's common, it's modern, and it looks just like any other quarter. But lately, there have been headlines and viral posts claiming that a 1996 P quarter could be worth up to $1.4 million. Yes, a coin worth 25 cents suddenly turning into a fortune. So what's the truth? Could this coin really be worth that much? What makes the 1996 P quarter special? And how can you tell if the one sitting in your coin jar is just ordinary change or something truly extraordinary? Today we're going to cover the complete story. The history, the design, the real values, the rare errors, and the truth behind the massive $1.4 million figure. If you love rare coins, modern treasures, and surprising facts, stick with me until the end. This one is fascinating. History of the 1996 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been an American mainstay since 1932, created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. John Flanagan design, with Washington on the front and the heraldic eagle on the back, became one of the most iconic United States coin designs of all time. By 1996, the classic design was nearing the end of its long run. Just 3 years later, the state quarters program would debut, changing the entire look of the quarter for decades to come. That makes the 1996 P quarter part of the final generation of the original eagle reverse. The letter P on the coin tells you it was minted in Philadelphia. Hundreds of millions of these coins were produced. That means the standard 1996 P quarter is extremely common. Most of them traveled through vending machines, cash registers, car wash meters, and grocery store checkout lines. They were made to be spent, not saved. But as we know, even in ordinary years, rare mint mistakes can slip through. And when those mistakes happen, collectors begin paying serious attention. Why most 1996 P quarters are not rare? Even though this coin is often talked about online, the typical 1996 P quarter is worth exactly 25 cents. There were too many made for most examples to be rare. Even in mint state condition, without errors, these coins usually bring only $1 or $2. A perfectly preserved example graded extremely high might sell for more, but nothing close to thousands unless it has something unusual. This brings us to the exciting part. The rare mint errors that can appear on 1996 P quarters. Rare errors that give the 1996 P quarter real value. These are the mint errors that can turn a simple quarter into a valuable collectible. Double die errors. These errors produce doubling in the lettering or numbers. If you see doubling on Liberty, the date, or in God We Trust, your coin could be worth significantly more. Off-center strikes. This is when the coin's design is not printed correctly in the center. A minor off-center strike might bring $50, while a dramatic one can be worth hundreds. Broad strike errors. When the rim doesn't form correctly, the coin appears stretched or wider than normal. These often sell for attractive premiums. Missing clad layer errors. Since the quarter is made of layers of copper and nickel, a missing layer can reveal a copper-colored surface. These errors can bring hundreds of dollars depending on condition. Wrong planchet strikes. This is one of the most valuable types of errors. If the quarter design was accidentally struck on a dime, penny, or foreign coin blank, the value increases dramatically. These errors can easily reach into the thousands. Double strikes and multi-strikes. When a coin receives more than one striking, especially at different angles, the error becomes visually dramatic and highly collectible. These are the kinds of mistakes collectors spend years searching for, and they are the real reason some 1996 P quarters are worth good money. Where the $1.4 million claim comes from, let's talk about the massive number everyone repeats. $1.4 million. Here's the truth. There has never been a confirmed sale of a 1996 P quarter for anywhere near $1.4 million. No auction company, no grading service, and no major collector has documented buying or selling this coin for that amount. So why does this number exist? It comes from speculation and publicity. Some articles and videos estimate hypothetical prices for coins that have never been discovered. In theory, if a 1996 P quarter with a one-of-a-kind, impossible to duplicate, dramatic mint error were found, it could draw unbelievable bids. This is how million-dollar estimates get created. Similar extreme error coins from other years have reached enormous auction prices, which fuels the rumor. But until a unique, extraordinary 1996 P error appears, the $1.4 million value is purely imagination. Possible? Yes. Proven? No. Realistic values of the 1996 P error here are the real prices that collectors actually pay. A normal circulated example is worth 25 cents, that a clean uncirculated example might sell for $1 to $5. That a highly graded mint state coin, especially MS67 and above, can bring $20 to $100. That a missing clad layer may sell for $50 to $200. That a strong off-center strike can sell for $50 to $500, depending on how dramatic it is. A wrong planchet strike can easily sell for several $100s and sometimes more than $1,000. That a dramatic multi-strike or extremely unusual error can reach into the thousands. These are real, confirmed values from actual collectors and auctions. How to identify a valuable 1996 P here are the signs you should check for when examining your coin. Look closely at the date and lettering for doubling. Use a magnifying glass if needed. Examine the rim. If it looks stretched, uneven, or missing, it could be a broad strike. Check for off-center designs. Even a slight shift can increase value. Inspect the color. A fully copper-colored side may indicate a missing clad layer. Weigh the coin. The standard weight is 5.67 grams. Something different suggests a wrong planchet error. Check for cracks, extra metal blobs, or odd shapes in the design. These could indicate die breaks. If something looks unusual, it is worth showing the coin to a collector or submitting it to a grading company for verification. And so is the 1996 P Washington quarter worth $1.4 million. For almost everyone, the answer is no. The typical 1996 P quarter is worth face value, but certain rare mint errors can bring significant money, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And while the million-dollar claim has never been confirmed, the possibility keeps collectors searching. That's the excitement of the hobby. You never know when an ordinary-looking coin might turn out to be a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 P quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which coin you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can also create a shorter version, a more dramatic version, or a 10-minute monetization-ready format for your YouTube channel.